I don't know, I'm going to cover some of the costs associated. Let me proceed. But there are some costs associated into actually taking the examination. I'll go over that. They're given all of there's two examinations, like I said. One is the entry level, which can be given by any organization who actually completes a study of the photovoltaic systems previous to that. So this course, for example, prepares you to take the entry level examination. Okay? Okay. It's a voluntary national certification program that would what? Promote renewable energy, value to the practitioners, people like you, worker safety and skill, because some of the, you have to have what? Skill to install photovoltaic systems, whatever that skill is, and you have to be able to work safely, okay? And obviously, if you have some sort of a certification, the consumer feels a little bit more what? Confident, or a lot confident, that he says, listen, this is a certified person who does the installation in my home. Okay. This is certification, it's what? It's voluntary. This is voluntary. You either do it or you don't do it. You know, it depends. It's a word to people, products, and processes by employees, independent agencies, and vendors. I guess in here we would be an independent agency. Accreditation, okay. So awarded to learning programs and testing laboratory, but not government agencies. Sometimes it's voluntary, sometimes it's what? It's mandatory. A license. It's awarded by people, government agency. The license that you have as an electrical contractor, it is given by what? By an agency or by the state of New Jersey, and that is a mandatory. So in order to do any kind of electrical work in the state of New Jersey, anything that is above 10 volts, you're required to have a license. You can be solar certified, but you cannot do what? Electrical work, or any kind of electrical work associated with the solar industry. There's a big, I don't want to call it controversy of, I mean, who can install solar panels. But as we discussed last time, it's a piece of what? It's defined as a piece, a module is defined what? It's a piece of electrical equipment. The minute that it's exposed to the sun, it emits what? Well, it has what? A potential across its leads. That potentially is what? It's more than 10 volts. Once it's more than 10 volts, by the rules and regulations of the state of New Jersey, as they define, it has to be what? Installed by what? By electrical contractors. That's the definition. That's what the law says, and that's where we have to deal with it. Now, what has been done in the field, it's not the the discussion of this course. I mean, who's installed. But if you're an electrical contractor, you can obtain a permit. You can install photovoltaic systems from the start to the end of it. Okay, and you have to have a license. Couple things about certification versus a certificate. It's nationally recognized for thermal installers, and this is typical for experienced installers that have what? Training and experiences, and you're certified as what? A solar PV installer. The solar PV entry level certificate of knowledge. This one, it's actually for us. After we take this course, we got pretty much new guys in the industry up here. Some of you guys are in the industry and you do those things. The certificate that you would get demonstrates that you have some of the basic knowledge, comprehension, application of some of the key terms, some of the concept about installation, what the photovoltaic system do, design and installation, basic concepts. And we'll go through it a little bit, what some of those requirements are. One of the key things is something that's called task analysis, and that is actually the key of this particular certification. And who did it? They've got a bunch of guys that they were into the industry. They developed and they said, listen, for the people that go into this type of industry that want to install these systems, what are some of the fundamental things they have to know before they start, mounting and putting those modules together? Well, obviously, if they had a license, they really don't need any kind of what? Any kind of knowledge other than what? meeting the National Electrical Code, the requirements of the National Electrical Code from the electrical point of view, and meeting the what? The requirements of Uniform Construction Code with respect to what? To the installation of that. So, but if you comply with the Uniform Construction Code, that means you comply with pretty much all the codes that do what? That the Uniform Construction Code refers to, whether it's the mechanical code, the building code, and so forth. So you can see our main compliance is actually, when we install photovoltaic system, is actually compliant to the Uniform Construction Code, as well as what? The codes that are that is required by that. All right. Most of us, because it's a piece of electrical equipment, we happen to deal a lot with the National Electrical Code, which is just only one of the portions that the installation of PV systems require. Okay. To be clear. What are some main tasks that are associated there? Well, one is the important things is actually working what? Safety. Safety is number one because of litigation cases. And remember, most of the photovoltaic systems they install where? In roofs. In roofs, flat roofs, cathedral roofs, all kinds of things. So working safely, it's very, very important with them. Conducting a site assessment before you can even go and sell a photovoltaic system or install something. You got to make sure that you do what? You got a space to put it. So you have to do some site assessment or site analysis to go and say, listen, this is a good candidate. Selecting a system design. What type of what? Components do you need in order to be able to design a system like that? Okay. Adapting the mechanical design, put all those modules and all those components together mechanically. Electrical design, how do you calculate what is needed? How do you really come out to how many watts, how many kilowatts, how many what type of materials that you need in order to be able to do the electrical installation with that. So you have to know something about the electrical design. Installing all the subsystems together and components at the site, how do you put them together? How do you make it play? Turn the system on. How do you turn the system on? Check it out. Get it ready for all the required inspections. And then at some point in time, maintain and troubleshooting the systems. Because obviously, some of the key requirements of the system is what is usually the consumer is asking you. When you go and install a photovoltaic system, what is the consumer going to ask you? What's the main thing? How much is it going to cost? Right? How much is it going to cost? What else? How much is it going to take me to pay back? And what's the other thing? How much kind of money do you think? What's another thing that the customer will always consume? Well, some of them will ask you that. What's another thing that they're going to? What people don't want to.
What's it look like?
Pay the electrical.
How much money am I going to save?
Excuse me?
How much money am I
How much money are you going to save? One more thing.
My roof look like?
The roof. One more thing. Warranty? What else?
What's it look like?
Nobody asked you. They're going to pay you back after a while. What else? What happens if it breaks? One more thing. How long would it take to do it, right? How long would it take to do it? Most of you in the business, one of your key things is what? You calculate what? The time they would take. How long would it take? How long are you going to inconvenience this customer while you're installing the system? You remember when the funny thing with people is sometimes you start a bathroom up there and you said to yourself, a bathroom in your house, and let's blame the plumber somehow. And you said the plumber doesn't come up there and you have a bathroom that is taking about a month to be able to finish. How long would it take? This is some of the things that... So anyway, so in the initial task analysis, this is some of the fundamental things that they want to make sure an individual who's going to go and install a photovoltaic system is really familiar with it. There's a little bit more things, but now, a couple of things. NAPCEP does not offer any kind of training, okay? It's